Man, that's an everything bagel.
You're not supposed to make any other sounds. Alright. We're here. You don't need to know our names. We're just nobodies among the masses.
Among the stars of this place we call home.
You know? Yeah. So, yeah, this is the Everything Bagel
Podcast. Carcast.
Carcast.
Special edition in the car. First
Green
edition in the
Kia
car.
Soul
Well, we don't need to
cast.
give that away, but
Oh, shit. Alright, well. Yeah. Hey, you just elbowed the mic.
my bad.
Alright.
We can only afford one mic that we're sharing, so.
Yeah, it's, you gotta start somewhere. So, it's not supposed to be perfect. It's just supposed to start somewhere. And I'm a perfectionist, so
I agree.
this hurts my soul more than it hurts you. Anyway, so, hopefully A24 doesn't sue me, but I did want to talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once. And if you didn't pick up on it already or haven't watched it, this podcast name is inspired by the Everything Bagel in the movie. So, Ethan, why don't you... Oh, they know your name now.
Now they know my name. It's okay,
Your
Lily.
identity.
Thank you.
Fuck. Ethan, why don't you give us the premise of the movie?
So, it's been a couple weeks since I watched it, but the basic plot of the movie is that there's this woman whose name is...
Evelyn.
Played by the beautiful Michelle Yeoh. She is just kind of like not content
But
in her
beautiful.
life. I support Asian women.
Yeah, but like beautiful.
I need filler words
I'm
here.
not saying she's not beautiful. I'm just
Right.
saying like, why'd you say that? You know,
I
like
feel
in
like
front of your girlfriend too.
She's a beautiful woman. Like I think you would agree.
Yeah, but
Like I mean beautiful in the elegant way, not beautiful in the hot way. You know what I mean?
I think she's pretty hot. Anyway, go
I mean,
ahead.
okay, so yeah, it's about this this woman who's just kind of like living her life day to day, and then she gets more people throwing trash. She gets I don't know, recruited into this like multiversal event where she is the key to stopping this unstoppable force that she needs to stop. And
Okay.
she needs to access different parts of her multiverse self. So that means like there's different multiverses out there, you know, from small changes to like knowing kung fu to like hot dog fingers. Like it gets pretty crazy. I won't get into all of it, but it's a pretty wild ride that has lots of different realities, I guess.
Right. Well, okay. I would premise it differently. I would say it's a.
I mean, I feel like that's the basic premise.
I mean, but like the underlying premise is, an immigrant family with a daughter who is like, I would say depressed for sure, and just like going through a lot, and she doesn't feel understood by her mother, and then her mother feeling sort of this existential dread of not knowing who she is, what she wants to do, feeling like a failure, and then sort of being hit by this outside force that kind of like changes her perspective. But I think like Michelle Yeoh just brings this very like realistic expression of like how someone would handle that experience.
Yeah, she does a great job of
Yeah.
kind of balancing that like realistic aspect of it while also playing into the fantastical. Like she can do the physical aspects of
Yeah.
everything while also like getting a good emotional performance.
I love it. Anyway, it's the best movie of all time.
Great movie, best movie of the
one would
year.
say. Yeah, it's officially my favorite movie. I want to get a googly eye tattoo, and obviously it inspired this. But I guess like let's get intimate about why we wanted to talk about the movie. We talked a little bit about it on our car ride home from Costco, and I felt called out, but that's fine. So yeah, let's get personal.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess we watched this movie separately, but I watched it first and highly recommended it because I kind of knew just from watching it that a lot of the themes of like depression and like not like midlife crisis, but that kind of like existential dread was something that everyone can relate to a certain degree. But I knew that you were going through it especially heavily these last few weeks, and as I was watching it, I couldn't really like stop thinking about you and some of these characters, and even myself and some other characters that I saw on screen. But yeah, how would you think do you see yourself in any of these characters, or I don't know. I don't know.
That's a silly question. Well, okay, let me start off with, I think Ethan, like, recommends me movies all the time, and
She never watches them.
I mean, I would say it takes me, like, being reminded, like, 5 or 6 times before I actually watch them. And a lot of it has to do with, like, what I'm in the mood for. Like, I'm not in the mood usually for anything that's not funny or romantic or cute. So it takes me a while. And this movie had all of that, but it's not even like I didn't want to watch it. It just was a matter of, like, other things were happening. And then also I didn't want to go to the movies alone. So I had to go with my
Going to
boyfriend.
movies, underrated by yourself. Just saying.
I don't know if I agree with that. Anyway, so it was an interesting thing to have somebody, like, not somebody, my boyfriend recommend me something so strongly, and having him watch it before, we could watch it together. So I was going into it sort of being like, I wonder what he saw in the movie that made him, like, think of me, because he said, like, he kind of, like, was like, yo, like, this is for you, whatever. And I was like, oh, fuck, okay. So you kind of walk into it, like, trying to figure out how it resembles you, which I feel like, people already do when they watch a movie. Like, you find things that resemble your experience, but damn, did I feel called out. Just, like, every second of the movie, like, it just felt really, personal, I guess.
Yeah. I specifically saw you in 2 characters, the main characters. I'm forgetting their names. It's been a couple weeks since I saw it, I said, but Michelle Yeoh's character
And Stephanie Shu.
Both played wonderfully, and I just totally saw aspects of you in them, like specifically with the daughter, her kind of, like, nihilistic. I don't know if that's the word.
Her
like,
being gay.
I mean, surface level, sure. No, but just, like, her kind of, like, like, what's the word that's, like, not optimistic, pessimistic. Yes. Pessimistic view of life, and, like, she's very sees the negative side of things first. That definitely was just, like, on a surface level, I was like, that's Lily, like, especially, like, recently. I know you've been going through a lot, like, mental health wise, and, like, as the movie got further on, and like, showed, like, the daughter's thought process more, like, I was like, oh, it's like, it really does feel like her, like, like, good things she tries to do good things, but just, like, the world just keeps kind of plotting against her, and she's just, like, kind of has been beat down so much by, outside forces, specifically her mother, and, like, her approval and everything. While you're not seeking validation from, like, your mother, but just, the whole outside thing.
I don't care what my mom says.
I do. No, I'm just kidding.
I love her, but she's weird.
Yeah. No, but anyway, I definitely saw that part of you in her, and just kind of how she wants to do good to a degree, but now she's so far gone that it's just too late. And the mother at first doesn't see what the problem is, kind of, I guess, kind of like how a lot of people who don't know how to deal with mental illness people with mental illness do. They're like, oh, it's like, whatever, just, like, be happy, snap out of it, but it's a lot deeper than that. And I really liked how the movie kind of showed how much of a black hole, with the everything bagel, depression and mental illness like that can be, where it can drag everybody down around you, and, like, lots of people also have their own stuff they need to deal with, like the mother character in the film. But specifically with the daughter, I saw a lot of that in you. And then towards the end, I saw some of, like, the mother in you, kind of just, like, I would say the undiagnosed ADHD, not coming from a professional,
right.
But there was a lot of, like, I'm like, oh, Lily has some of those mannerisms.
Like, I've been in therapy for a while, and nobody's been telling me whether I have it or not, so I don't know if I do. But anyway, and I saw you and the husband character, Waymond.
Yeah, Wayland. I really liked him.
No, Waymond.
Waymond? Like Raymond? Oh, I just heard Wayland.
No.
Okay, with Waymond.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, that's awesome. I love that actor. He used to be in the Goonies and Indiana Jones and all that. Anyway.
Look. Me and Ethan both went to school for film. I don't know nobody. Like, I don't know any directors.
I, like, look at IMDb,
anything.
like...
I got better grades than Ethan. I still don't know anything. So, he's definitely the film nerd. I know Michelle Yeoh from Crazy Rich Asians, and that's about it. And I'm disappointed at myself that will change over time. But as of this moment, that's just the facts. So I don't know anybody in that movie. Stephanie Shu.
I think she's new.
Looked familiar, but I don't know what she was in.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I cried hella when the husband, like, finally when the googly eye moment kind of happens and you sort of recognize that, like, there's this person who's been in your life the entire time who kind of tries to make light of everything and really, like, muscle through, you know, life circumstances. And then there's the kind of, like, monologue he has that's, like, inspired by that movie. What's it? You know, with the colors and they're downtown and, like,
I don't know what movie.
It was
Ratatouille.
No. She's in the dress and they're in
No,
the
I know what scene you're talking about, but
yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen it. Sorry.
The movie.
That doesn't help me.
The movie. Oh, In the Mood for Love.
Oh yeah, I mean that segment when she's in China, the movie starts totally a Wong Kar-wai like
yeah,
rip off.
Wong Kar-wai. There we go.
Yes,
See,
yes.
This is what I mean.
That's
like,
what you meant. Sorry.
I graduated barely.
Yeah, no, the Wong Kar-wai influences in that scene was immaculate.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Wong Kar-wai moment where he's sort of in this monologue about how he just, like, you know, he just sees it differently. Like, it's not like one is more true than the other necessarily, and I think pessimism gets mistaken a lot, or I used to think of pessimism as like the absolute truth, you know, like it's more realistic than anything else. Like, the reality for me is that everything isn't fair and that nothing makes sense and that everything happens by chance and that we have very little control over our situations and our shortcomings and and like, and well, then I guess like that kind of bleeds into thinking negatively about even the things I am in control of. Whereas like you and the Wayman character, he really tries to find, I guess, a positive outlook or lightheartedness and everything. And oh my god, did it hit, like, you know, halfway through the movie where I was just like, you know, like, you do have, like, I don't know, that I had this person that, you know, saw the world that way. And even today, like, I was listening to something else and they were talking about how, like, it's crazy when you're finally in a healthy relationship and you feel like you can, I don't know, like, it's weird to be in the healthiest relationship I've ever been in and also be, like, the most depressed I've ever been in. And it's because, like, I guess I'm finally comfortable sort of addressing those feelings. But, I mean, I guess kudos to you for loving me that way.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely related to Wayman's character a lot. And I could look at everything as, like, glasses half empty, but why not look at it as, like, glasses half full, you know, and just kind of, like, make do with what you have. And there, you know, there's, like, beautiful montages throughout where it kind of shows, like, him kind of making the most, especially specifically with the googly eyes, you know, he's putting that just on like random stuff all over. And Evelyn at the beginning kind of sees it as like an annoyance, you know, she's like, why is this dumbass, you know, putting stuff on like everything? But, you know, once she kind of realizes, you know, she's like, I don't have to look everything from this point of view. And, you know, I'm glad I have somebody to balance me out like that. And then like now it becomes like her weapon, you know, like weaponized optimism, you know. And I really loved that.
Also love.
Yeah, I loved how visually it was represented, you know, with the googly eyes, specifically. And I'm gonna come back to it, but the rock scene where like they conveyed probably the most powerful moment of the year in cinema with no words. And just blank,
just text.
Yeah, I just really related to his character specifically, like with you, and just how I know a lot of stuff can like bring you down, you know, but I'm always trying to just like keep positive, you know, like not necessarily like, I have to be your rock, you know, but I don't know, it's just who I am and like how we kind of cohabitate, you know.
Yeah,
it's not like
very weird when the table turns.
Yeah, like on
which
paper.
Has been lately, like me trying to be more optimistic, and then you were really stressed out about.
Yeah, I've like job interviews and everything, so I've been a little more like I've been a hater recently more, so it definitely kind of flipped. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I definitely related to him on that level, and it was kind of nice to see that representation on screen of just like those smaller moments, you know, where it's just like not every couple on paper is going to be happy. And they touched on it at the beginning where he like served her a divorce.
Yeah.
And, you know, at first you're like, wow, this relationship he thinks is like doomed to fail. Like maybe he's had finally too much, you know. Mm-hmm. But then at the end, he's like, I only kind of did that you know, because I feel like um, you need to be at that last point, you know, for changes to be made. And I think that's what kind of really like woke her up.
I just really valued that there was a character so well written that like was optimistic in a way that felt manageable. Like he still had these moments where he was sad and upset and like, but he, I don't know, he traveled it very like gracefully and like found love for Evelyn through her like tough moments until she sort of kind of finally set footing in her reality and like was able to kind of see things for what they were, and yeah, with more optimism, which she like opted into, and that it wasn't, neither really is natural. Like I think that that's kind of what I took away from the movie, was that sometimes like the negativity is there if you look for it, essentially, like literally, like the negativity is there if you look for it. And I think the daughter just wanted to be affirmed in something, so she just kept looking for it in everything until that's all she could see. And then her mom was really like trying to pull her away from that, and not because like she didn't also see it, but because it just, she would rather look at the moments that they have together. And I think that that was super sweet. Maybe said.
Yeah.
And I love that they were like, so like the main character is also supposedly the worst version of herself because she has never like accomplished anything.
Yeah.
And I particularly felt called out by like, you know, she's getting audited by the IRS because she's trying to write off all these things as part of her business, but aren't a part of her business. And
Right.
she's like, you know, a karaoke machine because she's tried singing and things like that. And I think about it in my terms of like all the things I buy or the hobbies I try to get into that I never actually finish. And I think like the movie doesn't necessarily say like Evelyn then becomes the best version of herself, or that even she could ever reach that, because, you know, maybe it's like too late for her in her timeline or like the way things are going. But she finds value in just being an ordinary person that like finds joy in the little things rather than tries to be exceptionally like the other versions of the other universes. Whereas like in the earlier part of the film, when she sees that there are other successful versions of herself, she's trying to figure out how, or she's like absorbed in it. She wishes that she had made those choices so she could have been in that place. And you know, she disregards her relationship with her husband and her daughter to kind of see how much she could have made of herself. And I think like that really hit home for me, where I was like, I'm constantly overwhelmed by each opportunity cost that comes with each decision, that I feel like, you know, like Zendaya is living my best life and like what could I have done, but also it always feels like I'm constantly out of time for that. And like I don't know, I guess I watched the movie and I was like, you know, I am happy with the little moments that I have, and they're exceptional in their own way. Like I love our relationship and having our dog and having a place of our own, and those are like gratitudes that I carry, and I can still like try those other things and create some discipline within them, but maybe I won't end up in Hollywood, and that's okay.
Right. Yeah, I really like that, how it kind of took that idea of like, you know, the multiverse, like the what ifs, you know. She's like, oh, what if I didn't go with my husband to America, and, you know, she became like an action movie star. And, you know, we've all kind of fantasized probably about that, like, oh, what if years and years ago I did this instead of that, and, you know, something could have been drastically different. But I really like how at the end she's very content and very happy with like herself, and like, yeah, she's not the best at everything, but, you know, she has everything she needs and wants, you know. And she has, you know, her daughter, and like, you know, her probably future daughter-in-law, you know. She has her husband, and like, you know, her and her dad's relationship was even fixed towards the end. So I mean, I was really happy, like, you know, life doesn't need to be this big grand, you know, Hollywood spectacle, but she was just content with running a laundromat with her family. And that's something I really liked at the end, how everything changed but nothing changed, you know.
Exactly.
Everyone's having a great reaction to the film, and hopefully it does really good in the box office so we get more like it. But
yeah, can we like have it do better than Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yeah, can this make like 3 billion, like please?
Yeah, I think this is more deserving, to be honest.
Best multiverse movie.
Don't come for me. Don't come for
You can come for me, though. Who knows what we'll talk about next time. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
All right, everything bagels.
What?
I don't know how to end it.
I know. Okay, bye.